The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Hello, I'm your host Samia Mohammed for this hour's news. Let's start from Algeria. Following this initial private discussion, the two ministers held a comprehensive and constructive bilateral meeting, during which they reaffirmed the strong bonds of friendship between Azerbaijan and Algeria. In a post on its X platform, the Azerbaijani Foreign Minister noted the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Azerbaijan, Ceyhun Bayramov, and Algeria's Ahmed Attaf held a comprehensive and constructive bilateral meeting, reaffirming the strong ties of friendship between the two countries. The sides exchanged views on expanding cooperation in a wide range of areas, including political dialogue, energy, trade, investments, education and culture, and underlined the mutual interest in exploring new avenues for collaboration. Particular attention was given to strengthening coordination within international and regional organizations, including the United Nations, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and non-aligned movement based on shared principles and mutual support. Both ministers expressed determination to further deepen the Azerbaijan-Algeria partnership, contributing to peace, development, and prosperity in their respective regions and beyond. The Kingdom of Eswatini hosted an ad hoc expert group meeting focused on advancing intra-regional trade in Southern Africa by tackling tariff and non-tariff barriers, emphasizing the African Continental Free Trade Area potential to serve 1.4 billion people with a $3.4 trillion GDP. Speaking for the Ministry of Commerce, Mulelik Dalmini highlighted that removing NTBs could boost intra-African trade by 52%, yet Southern Africa's share lingers at 21 to 23% due to technical barriers, SPS measures, and custom delays. He called for digital trade tools, mutual recognition of standards, and Eswatini's reforms in simplified regimes, digital customs, and value chain in textiles, sugar, and agro-industry. ECA representative Eunice Kamwendo noted NTB's raise trade costs 15 to 30%, stressing their removal for industrialization and MSME's growth, citing East Africa's success in cutting border delays. A Senegalese delegation from the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, SENAMS S.A, and the Directorate of Financial Affairs visited Togo's National Identification Agency from October 22 to 27 to study its biometric digital identity system. The mission focused on Togo's MO-SIP-based platform covering enrollment and management and authentication. Officials praised the open source approach, data sovereignty with domestic hosting, and compliance with global standards, which bolster security and citizen trust. Senegal confirms its own open source strategy, gaining insights into best practices and pitfalls. Both nations committed to exploring database interconnection, aligning with the World Bank's WURI program for regional interoperability. The visit highlighted Togo's leadership in West African digital ID, driven by local expertise, and underscored the need for strong governance and institutional coordination. This collaboration paves the way for inclusive digital services, financial access, and cross-border integration. Djibouti is hosting a two-day African Union conference on sustainable sports development, bringing together senior sports officials, AU representatives, and regional sports authorities to discuss governance, policy, and youth participation in African sports. The event, opened by Djibouti Secretary of State for Sports Hassan Mohamed Kamil, aims to advance the African Union's political framework for sports development and strengthen cooperation among AU member states. In her remarks, Sports Secretary General Khadija Ibrahim Idris said the gathering reflects a collective commitment to advancing sports development and described the conference as an important milestone for Africa's sports sector. A Sports Council Advisory Chair Ogwell Bernard Patrick outlined the Council's 2024 to 2028 strategic plan, saying it seeks to reinforce sport governance and promote sport as a driver of development and social cohesion across the continent. Closing the opening session, Minister Camille urged participants to work toward a unified sports policy for Africa, saying sport can serve as a tool for youth empowerment and social unity. Moving on to business headlines. A key backstopping mission has bolstered Angola's readiness to join the Southern African Development Community Free Trade Area in January 2026, focusing on implementing the electronic certificate origin. Approved by the Committee of Ministers of Trade in June 2025, Angola's accession includes capacity-building initiatives. The mission, supported by SADC Secretariat and German cooperation, developed a work plan, identified hardware-software needs, and addressed legal issues for ECOO rollout. SADC Senior Program Officer Alcides Monteiro highlighted that 8 member states already use ECOO, aligning with the SADC Trade Facilitation Program. Angola's Director of International Trade Affairs, Dr. Antolio Domingos, emphasized automation's role in enhancing customs efficiency, aiming for ECOO implementation in 2026. Finally, Libya is planning to increase its oil output to 1.6 million barrels per day next year and 1.8 million barrels per day in 2027 amid redevelopment of old fields, according to the country's oil minister. The current production of OPEC member Libya is about 1.4 million barrels per day. Khalifa Abdul Sadiq told the ADIPEC Energy Conference in Abu Dhabi on Tuesday. "We have a mission to increase output to 2 million barrels per day over the next 5 years," Abdul Sadiq said. Libya has a huge portfolio of brown fields. Those fields have been discovered back in the late 50s, early 60s, and those fields have huge remaining reserves. We are trying to redevelop those fields by employing new technologies. Libya has some of the cheapest oil in Northern Africa. Thanks for tuning in, and goodbye until next hour's news program.